This judge took the judicial corruption to a whole new level never seen before in Nigeria. Then again, nothing is impossible in Nigeria. The sacked judge, Injustice S.O. Falola, connived with the Yahoo boys in an elaborate fraudulent scheme to literally rob a bank. Yes, you heard that right. For those who are not familiar with the slang, Yahoo boys, it's a Nigerian way of saying scammers. How did it happen? Let's start from the beginning. We will group all the people according to their group. 4 people belonging to the group of scammers, namely Hamzat Oladimeji, Rafiu Oladimeji, Kadre Latif, and Gabriel Omeka. On the other side, it is the Injustice Balola and the lawyer to the scammers plus all the other people involved that did not receive a huge share from the stolen money. Gabriel Omeka has a dollar-denominated domiciliary account with Polaris Bank. It's not clear if he got outside help or the 3 other scammers helped him to hack the bank to inflate his bank account balance from $23 to $1.2 million. What the hackers forgot to do was to make deposit entries into the account that will make it look real. After the bank recovered from the security breach, they didn't notice the inflated account balance until they were served with a court order. The court order was granted by Injustice Falola of Osun State High Court. Before he granted the order, the trio of Hamzat Oladimeji, Rafiu Oladimeji, Kadre Latif had approached his court with a fake court injunction from Kwara State High Court. No court granted the injunction, but the claims contained in it says that Gabriel Omeka, the one that owns the inflated DOM account, is owing them 283 million naira, being money from a business deal involving one company. So they presented it like they had a business deal with Gabriel and it went south. They went to court in Kwara State, a court granted an injunction in their favor, so they came to Osun State High Court, the court of Injustice Falola, to enforce the judgment in Osun State. Normally, before this kind of thing can happen, the law requires that the judgment must be registered in the state. They didn't do that. They claimed they registered it with fake documents. The court order or motion ex parte that Injustice Falola issued mandated the bank to show cause why an order of the court should not be made against them over the payment of 283 million naira that their customer is owing the 3 other guys. Upon receiving this, the bank made all efforts to prove to the court that their customer's balance was $23 before the security breach they had, and how no evidence of any deposit from the customer exists. In fact, the bank tendered an acknowledgement letter from the Deputy Commissioner of Police at the Special Fraud Unit, Ikoyi, where they lodged a complaint at the time the breach occurred. They requested the police to investigate fraudulent withdrawals by some of their customers at the time. The police arrested some of their customers and verified that there was a security breach. The letter reads in part: 1. There was a system breach between 2nd and 3rd of December 2018. 2. That the account holders' accounts were fraudulently increased into millions. 3. That the account holders made attempt to withdraw the money before their arrest. All these fell on deaf ears. Their customer maintained in court that he transferred the money to his account before the security breach, while the bank insisted that they couldn't find any evidence of transfer or deposit to his account, that the security breach was done to reflect the amount. Injustice Falola ruled in favor of Gabriel Omeka based on the fact that he produced evidence of the transfer of the funds. So this is just like scammers who pretend to pay for something and send the seller a fake deposit alert. But when the seller consults his account balance, he will see that no deposit was made. In this elaborate fraudulent scheme, the scammers hacked the bank to inflate the figures in order to reflect the fake transfer they made. And the Injustice played along because he was in on the whole scheme. That explains why they chose Osun State. Besides, enforcing such an order cannot be done at the bank's branch office. It must be at their HQ in Lagos. And it seems that all rogue judges use the same type of language. While delivering the judgment in favor of the bank's customer, Injustice Falola said, "What I find curious is that the third Ganishi appears to be playing to the gallery by stating step-by-step procedures of how transfer of fund is done in the banking system through the final address of counsel. The court can only act on the facts and the law properly placed before it. It is not my duty to fish for evidence or conduct investigation to verify facts contained in the address of counsel." This is reminiscent of the presidential election petition judgment delivered by one of the lady justices who asked the petitioners if they expected her to go to the market to shop for evidence on their behalf, despite the massive evidence they tendered. In the case of Injustice Falola, the bank proved to the court, even with police report, that their customer never made a deposit. But still, because he was part of the elaborate fraudulent scheme, he played his role in the fraudulent scheme. The Injustice ordered the bank to pay 283 million naira to Latif, Kadri, and the third guy from the non-existent money held in the account of their customer. The money will be payment of the debt that their customer was owing the three guys. Mind you, the judgment is based on a fake unregistered judgment from Kwara State. The Injustice gave the bank 3 working days to comply with the order. He also added a strange demand that the bank draft shall be made in the name of the counsel to the applicant, that's the 3 other guys. This tells a lot about the fraudulent scheme. Any money that the court recovers must go to the registrar. That's how it is done. The bank was supposed to make this public so that people will know about it, but maybe they were thinking about their image. They didn't want people to know about their ongoing litigation and all that. They ended up playing into their hands. There was a reason they chose Osun State to execute this elaborate scheme. Anyway, the judgment was delivered on a Friday and the bank filed an appeal on the following Tuesday, and they served the appeal at the High Court Judicial Division. This means they are still within the compliance period. It hasn't expired. In fact, there's still 1 day left, but the unthinkable happened. Injustice Falola signed a warrant of execution of the Ganishi order he made the same Tuesday before the expiry of the compliance period. In other words, he gave the bank 3 days to comply. He didn't even allow 2 days to pass. He signed a warrant of execution which they levied on 2 branches of the bank in Oshobo, despite receiving the appeal notice. Armed with the order, they raided their 2 branches on July 19th, cutting away assets of the bank and physical cash on the counters. On July 22nd, they raided 2 more branches in Osun State. All the raids they made, they didn't itemize what they seized from the bank. While office desks, computers, and other items were recorded at the Chief Registrar's office, all the money they took from the banking hall and ATM machines were never recorded. In all the raids, they stole a total of 16.4 million naira from the bank. That's according to the bank's estimate, not counting their furniture, electronics, and other stuff that they carted away, including vandalized ones. A month after, in August, the appeal court set aside the order of Injustice Falola. Now, the bank became determined to escalate the situation and expose the injustice. A new lawyer took charge and he investigated the fraudulent scheme, and he discovered that there was no court order from Kwara State in the first place. His investigation opened many can of worms, so he demanded to see Injustice Falola. The Injustice obliged him and told him that he will come to his Lagos office. He came on the appointed date. He was caught on CCTV. He begged the lawyer that he will run around and pay back the 16.4 million naira. He also revealed that one of the judicial workers that took part in the fraudulent scheme just bought a new car. He admitted that he was aware that the whole thing was a scam, that his registrar and other officers played 419 on him in order to make money. He prostrated to the lawyer, begging him not to report him to the National Judicial Council, not to damage his career, a career that he himself already damaged by conniving with scammers to rob a bank. On the day he was supposed to pay back the money as he promised, a notice of appeal and motion of stay of execution were filed against the appeal the bank won. The injustice was contacted by the bank's lawyer. He reneged on his promise and said that he will wait for the outcome of the appeal. To cut the whole story short, the bank's lawyer took all the evidence he gathered from his investigation and petitioned the NJC. The NJC delivered their verdict over the weekend. They recommended that Injustice S.O. Falola should be sacked. Some people are very shameless. Is it a must to be a judge? Imagine having a case in front of this one. You stand no chance despite being innocent. If one thinks he's not earning enough, why not change career instead of disgracing himself and his family and the entire country at large? This corruption, they've taken it to the national level, from bottom to top, up to the Supreme Court. It's also a shame that it took the NJC this long to recommend the sack of a rogue judge. Imagine all the lives his decisions affected, all the years he practiced. The whole system needs a serious overhaul. Thanks for watching.